Greetings and welcome students, this is Ambika Singh, your educator, and we are going to be doing writing section today. Writing skills are something that you develop over the years. It's not something that you learn immediately. Just because you are attending a lecture you will start writing good. It's never like that. I think you already know all of these things. Writing, being a good writer is a process of many years. I can at best tell you what's the format for each question, for each type of writing skills task. I can tell you this entire write-up will have marks based on content, expression and format. I can only tell you as much. But if you are not somebody who writes very regularly, who makes sure that you do writing skills on a daily basis in terms of writing good emails, writing good letters, writing anything like even a birthday card for somebody. So if you have not invested in yourself as a person, as a writer, for all of the years that you have lived so far, it can be quite difficult to suddenly become an ace writer. It's not that easy. So the first step usually that I advise to anyone who's doing writing skills for any exam, be it CBSE exam or any other exam, is to write more regularly. So if you are not in the habit of writing very regularly in your life, it can be a problem to attempt a question suddenly and write in very good language. But in CBSE, you at least have the scope of scoring marks for your format, for following the overall structure. Of course, there are marks for your linguistic excellence and for your expression as well. But even if you understand the basic requirements, because see, they are not expecting you to write some really nice poetry for them or some really nice stories for them. You don't have creative writing in your syllabus. They are not asking you to do composition. But if you just have to use your brains to remember the format right, remember what is the style of that particular write-up and what is the question expecting out of us. Sticking to the word limit is something very basic that all of us can do. It's not a very tough task. I highly recommend writing regularly to anyone for CBSE exams or for anything else, because at this point in time in your life, you don't even realize how important are writing skills. You could be doing a master's degree and still be very poor at communication, and that will not, if you are appearing for any interview, it is something that will come in the way. If you have been selected at a company to work at a managerial position and you cannot write impressive emails or make impressive presentations, you will still lag behind. So in case you are thinking that just because you can be an engineer, doctor or CA, you don't need writing skills, you cannot be more wrong in this. I am telling you this thing that a lot of my own colleagues and friends who have excelled in a lot of fields fail sometimes because they are very poor communicators, they are very poor writers, they are very poor at expression. So in case your thought process is like this, I suggest that you change it, if not immediately, gradually, and try to understand that it is for your own good that you are learning to write. And if you write well already and you are very confident about your writing skills, also understand that writing is like that kind of muscle. If you don't use it, your writing skills can get lost. Your muscles become weak. So write more regularly. If you are not a writer kind of a person, please start. If you already are very good at writing, then please make sure that you have the habit of repetition, you have the habit of revising and writing very regularly. These are very important things, and I highly recommend writing as a therapeutic exercise, as a meditative exercise, as an exercise of expression, and also alongside excelling at your professional life in future. So please focus sharply, not because you want to score very high in the CBSE exams, because writing skills are important. Communication is extremely important, and writing is something that you would do for the rest of your life. Writing emails, writing good WhatsApp messages, writing a good presentation, writing a good report for your company. It could be anything. Writing is something that you would use. Alright, so this is lecture number 26 and it is notice writing. A lot of you already know what is notice writing because you have done it in class 11th, and a lot of you have done it even before class 11. See, in India we have such different syllabi sometimes across the country in different regions and different states, that a student might come up to me and say that, ma'am, you're teaching notice in class 12th, I already did it in class 5 or class 6 or class 7. Yes, there is always a possibility that you have done it enough number of times by the time I am speaking with you, but I have a duty to cater to everyone because there may be students who have never done it, or there may be students who had this in the syllabus in class 11th but never bothered to do it properly. Alright, so notice writing. First thing that we have to see is what is a notice. I think the word itself is quite clear. It's a very lucid kind of a, what you call self-explanatory kind of a word. It's very clear. Notice is, you have given a notice to somebody, you have put this on the notice board. Notice is public information. It is displayed public information. But still, to take a look at the definition is never very harmful. A notice is a handwritten or printed news statement. A notice may contain news, information about something that has happened or is likely to happen. So you may be informing people about something that has happened already, or you may be informing them about something that's going to happen. For instance, there was the school's annual function. Some students who won the prizes were not present at the annual function. So say the sports teacher who has all the certificates and the prizes and the trophies wants to inform students that they can collect them from the storeroom or from the sports room or from cultural room, wherever those prizes and those certificates are lying. So you could be informing about something that's already happened, that's done with, that yesterday was the school's annual function, but a lot of students who were the winners, they did not take their prizes, they were not present. So they are informed that they or their friends can collect them for them from the school's sports room or cultural activities room. So you could be conveying information about something that's already done with, but there is something left that has to be informed. Second thing is that you are informing about something that's going to happen. There is going to be a dance competition in your school or in your college, or there is going to be a dandiya in your society, there is going to be a dinner party in your society. It could be anything. Or there is going to be very bad weather in the next 2 days, there is expected stormy weather. So let's shut the school for 2 days. So happy news can also come in advance sometimes, not the storm, of course the school holiday. So you could be informing about things that have happened or things that are going to happen, very basic things. It may be a formal declaration of public importance or an advance warning meant for compliance and information. There is going to be a curfew owing to the COVID-19 situation. The government informs us. There is a complete detailed document that's issued that we refer to know what are the curfew timings, what kind of rules and regulations are going to be followed. The document the government gives us is also a kind of public notice. So you don't have to, even though CBSE has a strict format for notice, but you see notices in your everyday life, you see notices via email, you see notices via newspapers, magazines, you see them on the roads, you see them outside your office building, you see them outside your society, like many of you may live in the societies where there are so many flats and there has to be some information passed on. So there is one notice board where things are, where a document is pasted, everybody can read it. And obviously because we are way more computer friendly, a lot of us read emails and WhatsApp all the time. So the society may have everybody's numbers or email addresses. The same photograph of that notice can be circulated via computers, also via internet as well. So a lot of our lives are internet based now. So we read a lot of stuff, but at the same time, you may ask the question that I never have to write a notice because we communicate via email. No, in email also you are writing something. In WhatsApp also, if you are notifying somebody, if you are giving a notice to somebody, you are writing something. So even though here you would be following the CBSE format for writing it, In your real life, you could be using the same kind of information to convey a message to other people, to notify people about something. So it may be a formal declaration of public importance or an advance warning meant for compliance and information. You want people to understand what has happened. A notice can be about a meeting, an event, an excursion, a historical trip, a picnic. It could be a lost and found. I'm sure all of you have seen it in school at some point, that somebody's watch has gone lost. So there is a notice on the notice board that so and so, a student of class 5, class 6 has lost his Titan watch or Rado, and that person lost it during the recess. So if anybody finds it, please contact the undersigned. It could be a change of name, address, uniform, timings, venue. It is for anything and everything that needs to be conveyed to people, that needs to be communicated to people. What is the purpose? Purpose of notice writing is to inform. We have already covered it, that notices are effective means of publicizing information to make any piece of information, any given piece of information public. Related to different issues or occasions, a notice is meant to be written, and what kind of language do we use? Make sure that you use very simple language. Why are we focusing on simple? A lot of you understand simple language to be, just too useless. No. Simple language, simple usage of language is the most important usage of language, because the idea here is not to write poetry. You don't have to use complicated words, you don't have to use words that people find hard to understand. So you will write, whenever you are writing an advertisement or notice or any kind of thing that we are doing, until it is something which is an expression, which is a poetic expression, you don't have to use language that people don't understand, because the idea here is not to impress people with your dictionary. You have to impress people not with your high-end vocabulary, but with how lucid you can make it for them, how easy to understand you make it for them. So please don't use jargon, or don't use complicated words, very difficult words that people don't understand commonly. So language has to be simple and language has to be formal. You cannot, usually it's not written like that, hi, because you're not talking to a friend, you're talking to a large group of people. Some of them, most of them in fact know you in a professional capacity. So you have to use what kind of linguistic style, or what kind of language would that be? That would be third person. You will not use I am informing you, or please contact me. You will not say these things. You will say, if any more information or any more knowledge on this particular aspect is needed, please contact the undersigned. So the undersigned is the person who is writing the name and designation towards the end. Okay. So the language has to be formal in the sense that you cannot write, I am saying this, please contact me for this. You have to maintain a certain level of decency and formality. You have to write, please for this information contact the undersigned, or to collect your certificates please contact the undersigned. If you want more details, please contact the undersigned. What's an undersigned? The person whose name is written at the bottom, that person is the undersigned. If you are writing the notice, then you are the undersigned. So you have to write your name and designation at the bottom of a notice. I'll tell you the format, but we are discussing what kind of language is to be used in the notice. So it has to be simple language that is easy for anyone to understand, and people don't have to open a dictionary or look for a word that's so complicated. So make it very simple in terms of language. Secondly, please make it formal. Don't say hi, hello, please tell me about it. Don't use lingo. Use simple language and formal language. They are not, all of the people that are reading this, they are not your friends. It is clear, brief and to the point, and you do not have to supply information which is mammoth information. You cannot be writing a lot of details. You have to write it to the point, you have to write it very specifically, because the word limit for notice is just 50 words. You cannot cross that word limit. Display, it could be because you are putting it up on a display, so it could be an educational institute's notice board. A lot of CBSE questions, the past year's questions, if you go through them, you would understand that a lot of times these are for school notice board or a college notice board. So it could be for an institute, educational institute's notice board. It could be for a newspaper that you are writing this notice. It could be for a magazine that you are writing this notice, or it could be a general notice that's issued in a newspaper, that's written, published in a newspaper or anywhere else. It could be just very well put on at the railway station. So a notice is a notice anywhere and everywhere. The content might change, but if you are attempting a CBSE question, you have to stick to the format given by CBSE. I think even in my orientation lecture when I was speaking with you, I made it very clear that you don't have to use your own formats or your own writing style in this. You may have your own expression, but at the end of the day you are writing for CBSE, so you have to stick to their format. So if they want the heading of the notice to be in the center, you have to write it in the center. You cannot be writing it at a corner. If they want the date on the left hand side, you have to provide the date on the left hand side. You do not have that freedom or flexibility here to use your own formats. You may have this question that when I see a newspaper notice, or I see a notice at the railway station, or I see a notice in my school, on my school's notice board, I never see a format. Everybody writes according in their own format. Yes, that's true, but it's a CBSE exam and they decide the format, and of course they want to make it more standardized for everyone, which is why you have a format, because then everybody would be writing it according to their own creativity and personal space and personal thoughts, and that's not what they want. They want you to stick to the format and write it in the language, in the kind of language that they expect out of you for a notice, which is formal, and the sentences have to be clear cut, they have to be straight to the point. So it could be on any of the, at any of the places, and it still qualifies as a notice. What are the main components? See, CBSE has made this question, the first question that you see in your writing section would be notice, and it is likely to be as an alternative choice with advertisements. Okay, so you could be doing a notice or an advertisement, but I suggest that you do both. In my orientation lecture also I said exactly this. Please do not leave any portion of the syllabus just because you think there is going to be a choice. Even if CBSE has already told you that you are going to have a choice in between these two questions, I don't suggest that personally. You may be able to do a notice better than an advertisement, which is why you choose to do notice in the exam, but leaving an entire thing just because there is going to be a choice is something completely crazy to me. I don't accept it at all. If you had a very lengthy syllabus, maybe it would make some sense that because the syllabus is so lengthy, I can't do everything and I can't remember everything. But here you don't have a very lengthy syllabus, so why not learn to write an advertisement and notice, and pretty much you know, the rules apply to both of them pretty much similarly. So why not do that? So you may choose to do notice in the exam, but try to know advertisements as well when we do them, which we will be doing in the next class. So here the marks, the weightage of notice or advertisement, short composition, short writing skill task. This will be 3 marks, and they divide the marks between format. Format is the box, you have to draw a box, right? You have to write you know, the issuing authority's name, that comes under the format. Like say you were studying at Sophia School, so if the notice is going to be put on the notice board of Sophia School, Sophia Senior Secondary School, then you write this in the center, Sophia School in the center, that is the issuing authority. In the second line you write notice, which also comes under the format. Then on the left hand side you write date. I could have drawn a bigger box for sure. I don't know why I am doing this, even though you would be seeing on the next slide what I mean to say. Or we can, instead of me drawing it and confusing you here, we can go to the next slide. Yeah, here it is. So what is it here? It is the name of the issuing authority or the organization where the notice is being issued, like where the notice is being displayed. So if you are in St. Paul's School, Sophia School, Xavier School, wherever you are studying, you could be writing the name of the school in the center like this at the top, and always take a fresh page. A lot of students are very messy about it. They think that they should save space in the exam. So what they do is they have written half of the page they have already written for some other answer, and then they start notice at the bottom of the page. Please don't do this. Whenever you are attempting notice or advertisement, such kind of questions require where you have to draw a box and everything. Please use a fresh page in your answer sheet. So on a fresh page you have made this. So there would be a box around it. You would be writing like it would be a complete box like this. You would be drawing a box, alright, as it was on the slide. So say this is your box that you've drawn in the exam, right? So once you draw the box, you have to write the name of the issuing authority, then you have to write notice here, and notice has to be in capital letters. So what is it? This is your format. These are the points of your format. All of it is your format only. This is what? This is also your format. This box is your format, right? This is your format. That date is also format. A lot of people are not in favor of you writing date like, you know, a lot of people write like this. So you can be writing the same date like this, 12/6/2020, right? That's done, that's very common, but it's not highly suggested. It's not something that I recommend. When you are writing for a CBSE exam, either write the date like that, like I have written here, June 12, 2020, or you could be using an alternative. How you could be writing date alternatively? You could be writing 12th June 2020, right? So either like this, June 12, 2020, 12th June 2020. If you ask me which is the preferred and more commonly accepted format for writing the date for a notice, I would suggest this one. This is the format this is the date writing format that's more accepted, but that does not mean that one is wrong. But this one you don't have to write. Like this you would not write your date. Okay. So your box is the format, the name of the issuing authority also comes under format, writing notice in capital letters in the center is also format. Now what else is in format? This heading. What is this heading for? This heading is about what your notice is about. Like say there is going to be a cultural event in your school. So for that you are you're the head boy of the school and you are writing a notice. So that heading, it could be any heading, it could be about that notice, it could be about the thing that you're writing in the notice. So this is the heading of the notice. This heading is of this particular thing is the name of the issuing authority. So please don't get confused between this and this. This is a separate heading. This has to be in the center here after the date, like you will write the date exactly like that or the other format, and then slightly leaving a line, you have to write heading in the center, fine, and then you write the body or the content. So all of it was in the format. What else is in the format? Like you will write the body means the content that you are writing here, the language that you are writing, the information you are giving. So content is the material that you are giving, format is all of the things that I told you, expression is how well you have written it. You could have given all the details like the dates and time and everything. You could have given all the details that classifies as content, but how good is that content? How expressive is that content is expression, that is also for 1 mark. So out of your 3 marks, you have marks for content, you have marks for format, and you have marks for, you have one mark each, you have 1 mark for expression. Whether or not you are using good language, whether or not you are expressing clearly, that comes under it. So remember, content, format and expression, the division of marks, like the weightage of the question may be different for report writing and article writing or letter writing later, but the overall division would be based on content, format and expression. What else comes in the format? We are forgetting one thing here. The name. The person who is writing the notice has a name. That person's name is written here. Many a time you are given this name. You are, say, Michael Jackson or you are Brad Pitt, or you are Rajkumar Shukla, or you could be anyone. They have given you a name. You can write that name which they have given you. A lot of times they don't give you the name. They just ask you to write the notice. They tell you that you are the head boy of the school and you have to write a notice, or you are the head girl of the school and you have to write a notice. So you know your designation, but you don't know your name. So in that case, please don't write your own name. Please don't write your friend's name. What would you write? Stay anonymous, write ABC, XYZ. Very rarely this happens that they have not given you the designation. They have just given you the topic. They have given you what you are supposed to write here in content, but they have not given you the name of the school or the name of the organization. So in that case, if they have not given you the name of the school, you can write again ABC school, XYZ college, LMN university, or whatever you want to write. So you can stay anonymous that way. They may not have given the designation, so you can imagine a designation there, like who could be writing that kind of a notice. So if there is a sports event, you could write sports teacher, but the name, the name, undersigned's name and the name of the issuing authority, please don't be creative here, just write ABC, XYZ, stay anonymous, because anonymity works according to CBSE standards. They don't want you to write your own name or your friend's name or your school's name, because any identity marker can bring a bias. For instance, you are from a particular region in the south, you have studied in that particular school and you are the teacher checking the sheet. If a student has written the name of the school that is your childhood school, you would have a personal bias. So CBSE does not want students to have any identity marker in any of the answers that they are writing. Alright, so please do not reveal anything which can give an identity marker, because sometimes it can work in your favor, sometimes it can go against it also. So against you also. So you know what all is there in the format, right? Let's see what else do we have. I think we have to go back to the last slide here. Yeah, what were we doing? Is there anything that we did not discuss? I have written down, let me rub the board once, wait. Okay, I have written down the format. Format will include notice. The word notice in capital letters comes under format. Date comes under format. Heading, the writer's name and designation is also format. Content is what is the information you are giving. So you should be answering basic questions like what is going to happen, when is it going to happen, where is it going to happen, how is it going to happen. So basic details have to be given. If there is an event in your society, say you are planning a New Year party, you are the cultural head of that society where everyone lives. So you have to give the basic details. When is the New Year party going to be held? What is the main theme? What is the process through which people can show their willingness to participate or to be invited in that. You could be, depending on what the question is, you could be giving these basic details. And I know all of you, most of you are very intelligent. You can even if every detail is not given in the question to you, you can write it on your own. And then expression is overall organization, how well you have written it. Now you would be asking, what is there to write that I write it well? Writing it well means not committing expression, not committing grammatical mistakes, spelling mistakes, first things, punctuation mistakes. A lot of people have no knowledge about semicolon, colon, full stop, long dash, short dash, so hyphen. If you don't have knowledge about these things, All of these things come under your expression, linguistic expression, your thought expression. So if a teacher is saying that you've written the format very well, you have written the content also very well, the basic whys and hows are answered through your content, but all of your spellings are so messed up, or your punctuation is completely wrong, then there is a chance that the teacher might not give you full marks for the answer. So make sure that you meet all the parameters here. All right. So moving on, this we have already done. Yeah, let's take a look at an example, right? This is an example. XYZ public school, as I had told you, if they have not specified the name of the school. Notice in capital letters, date on the left hand side. What is it about? What is the topic? Drawing and painting competition. This is to inform that the arts club of the school is going to organize a drawing and painting competition from 20th, just a sec, there is a problem, from 20th of this month. Okay, so say the time is given very clearly here, the 20th of this month. All students are requested to display their drawings and paintings in the exhibition hall of the school. The interested candidates may please submit their names to the undersigned. Who is the undersigned? ABC, because you are trying to maintain anonymity. So you are ABC, and then secretary, arts club A, clubs A, that is your designation. So this is your designation, this is your name, and you are giving a very good sense of when. You are answering the when in your question. When is it going to be held? Drawing and painting competition. It is going to be from the 20th. All students are requested. So what is the purpose of this notice? Here you are talking about the purpose of the notice. What is the notice's purpose? What is this notice's purpose? The purpose of this notice is that all students who are interested may display their drawings and paintings in the exhibition hall of the school, because it's going to be a drawing competition. So you are informing people. The interested candidates may submit their names, and there is an instruction. So usually notices leave some instructions. There's going to be a New Year's party. Anyone who is interested in participating may collect the invites from, or may request the invites writing to the undersigned or contacting the undersigned. So this is the final instruction. Usually notices leave with some instruction, some request. If it is not an instruction for people, it is a request that the undersigned hereby requests everyone to gather. Like say there is somebody's condolence meeting at your organization, somebody has passed, or somebody's family member has passed. There is going to be a condolence meeting. So what do? They write a notice, they issue the notice, it's put on the notice board, everybody is supposed to gather. So condolence meeting would be the heading, and then you can in the end, like in the last line, you can request people, or everybody is requested to gather at this time. If anyone has anything to discuss beforehand, they can speak to the undersigned. So leave with some instruction, leave with some request, leave with some kind of an order. Okay, so this is what we keep in mind, that the purpose, the idea why you are writing it should be very clear. All right. Now moving on, these are some questions that have been there in the CBSE exam. So I have kind of written them here and copied them here from the web pages. So there is this question: due to a sudden landslide and inclement weather, because of bad weather, St. Francis School, so they have given, I am showing the questions to you so that I know you have already seen the format and example, but I am showing all of this to you to just tell you what kind of questions usually are asked. So the name of the organization is given clearly in the question. It may not be given, so you write ABC or XYZ. So St. Francis School, what is the matter? What has happened? Due to sudden landslide and inclement weather, bad weather, Vasco has to be, this particular school, St. Francis School, Vasco has to be closed for a week. The school would be shut for a week. What great news for students. So the main purpose of writing this notice is to inform students about this week-long break. Week-long break or school shutdown. So you could be writing a suitable heading when you are, what could be the suitable heading? School shut for a week owing to bad weather, or you could just write 1 week school shut down, or break, school break because of bad weather. It could be anything, like, see, it is up to you, but make sure your heading is not very long and it conveys. I hate it when people write a notice and their heading does not convey what they are saying in the note. So you don't have to play mysterious here. A lot of people play mysterious. They just give a random heading and then the content is completely different from the heading. Make sure the heading and content are in sync with each other. So you could be giving any heading that is suitable. As principal of that school, so they have given you the designation. Who are you? You are the principal of that school. You are the one drafting a notice. They have given you the word limit, 50 words. And this notice is to be displayed at the school's main gate, notice board. So quite simple, just inform students that there is forecast for bad weather, inclement weather, and the school is going to be shut from this date to this date. Or you could be giving some side information which is not mentioned in the question, like the classes. We would have extra classes later in the week, in the next week when you join school, something like that. So you can write, of course you have to maintain person language. This is to inform all students that there is going to be a shutdown, a school shutdown from this date to this date because of inclement weather's forecast, and all of the loss of work would be covered in the week when everyone joins schools with help of extra classes. Or you could be giving any extra information or some word of caution that students are requested to stay inside the house and inside their homes and be safe during the time period. So then you could sign. They have not, if you see, they have not given the name of the person. So just write ABC XYZ and write the designation. Likewise, there is another question which has been in Delhi 2015 compartment exam. An inter-class drama competition is to be held in St. Stephen's School. So again, the name of the school, the issuing authority's name is very clear. What you write at the top is very clear. Then what is the purpose? You are informing students about an inter-class drama competition. You know the purpose of writing it. So you know the heading already, inter-class drama competition, or you could be writing any other heading but on the same lines. And as Akash, so here they have given you your name and your designation. Draft a notice to be put up on the notice board inviting entries. So there is going to be a drama competition. The purpose of writing this notice is here you are inviting entries. If anyone wants to participate in the drama competition, if any group of students wants to perform a play, they can give their names to the undersigned. And what they have not given is the date of the or the duration of the drama competition. So you could be giving any date from, like say from 13 June to 20th June, there is going to be drama competitions back to back in the school, or one drama competition day. You could be writing all of that. That's additional information, you can give that. Provide all necessary information but within the boundaries of 50 words. So 50 words is not much. You have to write everything included in the notice within 50 words. Don't make it too long. Okay, in the next slide, just a sec. More questions. Water supply will be suspended for 8 hours. Main purpose of writing this notice is very clear in the first line. Water supply will be suspended for 8 hours from 10 AM to 6 PM. So this information is very important and has to be included in your answer. On 6th of March, only for one day, for cleaning of the water tank. If you live in societies, organized societies, if you are living in a flat, you already know these kinds of notices constantly come to people who are living there. They come via email, they sometimes come via messages also, they are sometimes put on the notice board there. So because the water tanks are going to be cleaned, it's going to be a water shutdown for water supply shutdown from 10 to 6 p.m., 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Write a notice in about 50 words advising the residents to store water for a day. So the purpose is very clear. You are Karan, your name is given, or you are Karan Kumar or you are Karuna Bajaj. So depending on what name you like, you can choose. Secretary, Janta Group Housing Society, Palam Vihar, Kurnool. This question was there in Delhi 2016. So follow the guidelines very clearly. Whatever information they have already specified in the notice, a lot of you don't read the question very well. I understand that. I've been a student too, and I know sometimes we rush through questions. So I'm not blaming you. I'm just saying that pay attention to the details that are already given. You may add a detail or two here and there, some piece of information extra. You don't have a lot of word limit, like you have just 50 words, so you can't write lengthy details here. But if you have any word of caution, an extra word of caution, you can give some detail here, but depending on whether you want to do it or not. So at least use the information that is given to you. Now there's one more question here. Yesterday during lunch break you misplaced your notes on chemistry lectures. You want to get them back. Write a notice in about 50 words for the school notice board. See, even though you are a student, in this particular question they have asked you that you are a student, you are asking for, you have lost your notebook, your notes, chemistry notes, you want them back. There is a good chance that you will think that you can write informally here, that you can write very casually here, but please don't do that, avoid doing that. Because remember, you are writing it for the entire school, not just for your group of friends. You are not WhatsApping your friends, you are writing it for the school notice board. So you would write, this is to inform all the students that the undersigned, that is you, the undersigned has misplaced their notes on chemistry lectures during recess or during whatever period of the school hours you can write. If anyone has found them near the playground or near the, the canteen, please return them to the undersigned. You could be giving a detail or two. Sometimes people write that the undersigned would be very thankful, would be very grateful. So these kinds of things can be written, but very simple, keep it short, keep it simple. Don't complicate anything. Remember, there are marks for content, format and expression, and the word limit is just 50. And the weightage of marks is 3. You have so many other questions to attempt, so please write as much as required. Don't waste your time. Alright, we are done with it, with notice writing. We shall be meeting again for advertisements. Until then, please take care, stay safe, stay well. Bye-bye.